You're watching Leafs Morning Take with host Nick Alberga and former NHLer Jay Rosehill. The show starts now.
Okay, here we go. Massive day for a variety of reasons. Nick Alberga, Jay Rosehill, presented by Bet365. This is Leafs Morning Take. The most important thing to bring out of this, it's not the Taylor Swift album, Rosie. It's the fact that this is the final episode of Season 3 of Leafs Morning Take, because on Monday, the premiere of Season 4.
Ooh, I might have a little prop I'm going to bust out that day in celebration and recognition of it. But yeah, I don't really think of it as this is still Season 3, but technically, you are correct. We are creeping towards, gosh, it's been a long road, actually, when you go back to the end of last season. But bring it on. I think we're ready after, well, most people are. Some people are melting down over the second last preseason game of the season, I guess.
Yeah, I was in the chat, and Zach Phillips brought back a preseason edition of the TLN After Dark last night. And yeah, I was stunned. I was trolling people because I could not give a shit about preseason, and that will continue to be the case on today's show. But people were losing their minds, so we're going to get into that. But you're talking technicalities. The big topic du jour right now in the chat is you being in the new Amazon Prime series, which we're going to talk about here. The new release, I watched about 9 minutes. I didn't want to watch it at all. I don't want to look back. I want to look forward. But looking back to Game 7, how about that? You're in it, buddy.
Oh, I hear. I'm going to have to check it out. I got to go through episodes 1 to 3 before I get to that one, but I think I'm lagging behind. Yeah, that's cool. I think I saw a fuzzy, grainy clip of someone's TV sending it to me, but looked like I just rolled out of the wrapper, which is great. But and I was actually a pretty big Shanahan, supporter for a long time, and they pulled one clip where I'm probably ripping them pretty good, but nonetheless, good stuff. I will be watching it, even though it's not fun to go back. Maybe we do it before the season starts so we can officially park it.
I don't believe there's any relation between the other episodes. Like, I think they're their individual episodes, if that makes sense, because I made that mistake, I guess, last year where I'm like, I got to watch from the first one all the way to the last one. But I think you can just pick up and watch this episode if you're like a Maple Leafs fan. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. They are not consecutive or continuous. I understand. Yeah. So season 4 or episode 4 for the Leafs fans. We get a little shout out. Pretty neat stuff. Way to go. 3 years in the making. Here we go. Let's start number 4.
Leafs Morning Take, all over that episode, by the way. Zach Phillips is in it. I guess my voice is in it, which I haven't heard just yet. But I think it's hilarious that people act Blackburn. I love Petey, but I mean, they got a Bruins fan narrating a Leafs show. It does not make much sense to me. The guy hates the Maple Leafs with a passion. So, he was smiling ear to ear narrating this episode, knowing the Bruins have beat the Leafs 18 times in Game 7. But nevertheless, I think it's cool access behind the scenes, and that's what we're looking for. From what I've watched so far, a lot of Nylander, a lot of Brendan Shanahan so far.
Did they touch on the Marner stuff, or was it pre-Marner that they got that thing recorded? I'm wondering.
I'm only 9 minutes in. You're going to have to ask producer Vic. I think in total it's about 45 minutes. The episode, I'll watch it a bit later on. Maybe we'll have a full breakdown on the season premiere coming up on Monday. But I doubt it. I think it's more concentrated on Game 7, losing to Florida, and what happens next. But I could be wrong. Maybe some of you in the chat who have watched it already can tell us. But I don't know to that extent if the Marner convo's in it.
Cool. Nonetheless, I like that series. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for the game. It's a good thing for hockey. Apparently, it's a good thing for our show. So rock and roll. I will be diving in here momentarily. Just got to give me some time to hit the couch.
My bad, Zach. Zach's in the chat right now. He says, I got in there. You sent a screenshot this morning. I was half awake looking at our group chat, and I guess that wasn't from the Amazon series. It was just from Zach's show last night. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Zach in it? You guys tell me. Our Super Chat charity partner is Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Hit us up with a Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and 3rd in the world. I know you were busy watching the Leafs game last night, but you got a peek at what was going on in Florida. I love to see that rivalry. Tampa and the Panthers, man, fights left and right. Guys getting run. Hagel got hurt. AJ Greer up to his old antics. Same old same, the Battle of Florida here.
Yeah, it reminds me of last year in the playoffs when they were playing each other. I was sitting at a lacrosse rink watching their game hoping they just beat the hell out of each other and everyone went to war and they were limping out of that round. It did not quite go down that way, but yeah, there is definitely some feistiness left in there. It just shows you how strong that Atlantic division is. And I don't know if people kind of forget or get overshadowed by the Panthers, but they've got some bite too, and they are probably going to want to instill their old ways on the division this season. So be no cakewalk, that's for sure. But I don't know. I think this team hopefully can handle it.
Fingers crossed, Rosie. We say that every year at this time. By the way, producer Vic clarifying, there's that one clip we all saw that went viral of Mitch Marner telling the entire team to hit everything. That's like the lone Mitch Marner clip in this whole damn 45-minute episode. That hurts.
Good. Yeah, I don't know.
They're bastards. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. Remember when we were laughing, like, can't wait to see this? And I was like, the director and producer need a raise. They knew exactly what they were doing previewing this thing. And then they put it out, and there's no mention to it at all. Love it. Great.
Yeah, away she goes. I don't know. I guess we can talk about Marner for a few more days, and then she's gone. She gone, and we can move on.
You know what's nuts? I've been getting heat on social media and in the chat, talk about Marner too much. I haven't said his name in maybe 5 episodes now. Today's the first day I'm back on the train because holy shit. Dude, Twitter drives me insane. I don't know what my algorithm does, but my entire page after Vegas's game against Colorado the other night was like random Stan fans tweeting about how great Mitch Marner looks in a preseason hockey game. I kid you not. I could show you the tweets. It was like 7 in a row. I didn't realize how good this guy was. And I felt like responding like, wait till playoffs, but I didn't do it.
Do you follow a bunch of Golden Knight fans or what is that?
No, it's about? Like we all know anybody who uses Twitter. Like it's just out of whack. I mean, these are not even people I follow. It's like the algorithm. I guess because I was watching Vegas and Colorado, the phone's listening. I don't know. It was bizarre, but it was all Marner stands talking about how great he looked.
Well, they must follow. They must know you follow the show, and they see how often you say Mitch Marner.
Yeah, I mean, this is a strange world. Nevertheless, Rosie, we are 5 days away, and it could not come sooner from puck drop. Again, even watching TLN After Dark last night, a lot of people little ruffled over a preseason loss to the Detroit Red Wings. Patrick Kane, JVR, others, John Gibson didn't play. The Maple Leafs are just going through the motions. But anyways, we'll get to that. Joe Bowen, this is great news, will be honored with a tribute game on December 16th against Chicago. Perfectly, that was the team he debuted against, October 6, 1982 against the Hawks, entering his 44th and final season as Joe Bowen. I love it.
Jeez, 44 years, dude. Like neither of us were born when he started doing this. We've been doing it 3 years, and the tracking and the following and the staying up to date and the analyzing, and his job's a little different, but man, to follow that team that intently and not really miss a game for 44 years is bloody impressive. Him and Ralphie too. It makes me wonder, as we were talking about before the show goes, who's going to be his replacement? What's Ralphie going to be left with? the time that they've spent together and the chemistry they have together is solid. And they always seem to be together. And they used to jump on the plane when I was playing and be in the back of the plane, and you'd stop for a bullshit once in a while. But definitely a different look when Mr. Bowen leaves, and his iconic voice and the Holy Mackinac and all the rest of it is kind of iconic and synonymous with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So a nice little farewell tour to him, and I'm glad that they are honoring him, in fact, at that special date.
You talk about big shoes to fill when Joe Bowen is finished after this season. I don't even know what the hiring process looks like for that. I mean, is producer Vic taking the job? Is it Zach Phillips? Is it somebody with actual experience? I mean, all bets are off in this scenario. But I will say, I've mentioned this time and time again, I had a couple seasons at the helm as Leafs Nation pre and intermission and post-game host, so I had a chance to work closely with Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph, two of the very best at what they do. To watch Joe Bowen in practice is something that every person should get the opportunity to see. He is just so damn good at his job. It's so incredible to me watching broadcasters, how they seem to nail pretty much every call in real time, which is so difficult in my opinion.
It is. It's actually funny because there's a youth hockey team in town here that my nephew's on, and they live stream their games with a guy who does play-by-play.
Oh, no.
Color. It's just him. It's quite hilarious. He's good at it. but I find that very difficult to play by play. I could never do that. I could do the color though before. I've done color before. Much easier. You just roll with the play by play and jump in where you can. But that play by play stuff, describing the play and who it is, and I always was floored by knowing every single player in the league and every single player on the other team just by their number or the way they skate. Obviously, you get decent at it after a while, but man, there's a lot of players in the league, and to just nail them all on the fly is always impressive to me. And like you said, Joe Bowen is damn good at it. So I'm also curious who they will replace him with. I hope they don't do the corporate bullshit and go into some idiot coming right out of college intern who is totally not good for it. But it's like, look what we did. Look how special we are. Look at this special opportunity we gave someone. It's like, they're terrible at it. Get someone really good who has a slight chance of filling Bowen's shoes is what you have to do. And that isn't going to be no easy task. So I hope they don't just shove some square peg through a round hole.
I don't know where you're headed with that, but I understand it. It's funny you bring that up because even going to family outings over the last couple of years, even in the last 15 years of my career, the amount of different family members are like, oh, when are you going to be the play-by-play voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Like, they make it sound like it's so easy. It's not. I mean, back in the day when I did schooling, we had the opportunity to sort of intern and do some work with the Mississauga Majors, now the Steelheads, but cover the OHL. So I did like pre-intermission and post. I did some color analyst work, but play-by-play I found it next to impossible. And I found a newfound respect for people who do play-by-play. That's why there's only select company who can actually do it at the highest level. And then working with Joe Bowen, like it is really, really difficult, not only to break down in your brain what you're going to say, but also have some oomph in it. And the thing that always gets me, and Bob Cole is my favorite, full disclosure, just to seize the moment the way these individuals do, where it's like, it's a big goal, it's a big game, and their call is like impeccable, you know?
Yeah, Bob Cole is one of the best.
Oh, man.
It would be so hard just to get it right without screwing it up, let alone do it with flair and pizzazz. Like, I don't know if people know how easy it would be to get in front of the mic and instantly become the boom goes the dynamite kid. Oh, my God. Very difficult job. But again, congrats to Joe Bo on his last season. And if you are a fan, which many people are, I would be tuning into every game you can because they are few and far between now.
I'm not sure I'm looking forward to the day where they announce the replacement. That's all I'm going to say. I just don't know the direction this is going to head in. I would just love to see Joe Bowen travel to a road game again. Okay. Like again, we'll get to that topic later on in the season, I'm sure. But anyways, the Daily Faceoff has your back with the brand new DFO Fantasy Draft Kit, your one-stop shop for everything you need to build the perfect fantasy hockey team. Better act quickly, by the way, because the season starts on Tuesday. We're talking player projections, updated line combos, power play units, sleeper picks, bust warnings, and team previews. You can check that out over at dailyfaceoff.com/draft-kit. Also, the Daily Faceoff Survivor Pool is officially live. It's a game of elimination strategy and a $2,500 grand prize for the last fan standing. Here's how it works. You start with 2 lives each round. You pick one winner from the slate of NHL games, but here's the twist. You can only use each team twice throughout the entire contest. The pool runs until there's just one person left standing, and that is the winner. Takes home $2,500. Sign up now at dailyfaceoff.com. That's dailyfaceoff.com. Not one, but 2 guests on today's show. We just talked about the Amazon Prime series. Yeah, Pete Blackburn was in it, but so was one of today's guests, Jackie Redmond. Beloved Leafs fans, going to drop by here, Rosie, in about 20 minutes or so.
Yes. Busy lady. We're glad she could jump on with us. I don't think she'll be too hot under the collar today. No, we'll see what she thought of that exhibition game, but usually pretty level-headed, but I do like her passion, as we've had her on before where she just took the floor to absolutely vent. I can't remember exactly what point of the season that was. I believe it was last year, early, I think, and she just unloaded, and I love that because she has the passion and follows along just like everybody else that follows this show.
Well said. The other guests, we're going to have some fun today. I guess we'll contextualize it, play the clip a bit later on. But Ben McDonald, who is making the rounds, going viral, is an MLB analyst who I guess was not aware that ESPN has the rights to the NHL. And that's a lot of money not to know about. But he made a comment as they were trying to tee up the season opener coming up on Tuesday in the NHL. And pretty much broke down that he's not going to be watching the game, 0% chance. Well, I had a chance to track down Ben McDonald, and we're going to touch base with him, Rosie, in about 30 minutes. You know, I tweeted out I would like Ben to go one-on-one with a former NHL enforcer. We're going to see it today.
Yeah, let's hear his explanation of this. It was totally went out of his way to rip hockey and make it known that he is not a fan. But okay, we'll give him the floor. See what the blowback from that is, and see what his response to the backlash is. So we'll give him the floor and see what he has to say.
I got to ask Ben about John Buccigross, who is his teammate over at ESPN. I don't even know if he got this or saw this, but did you see Buccigross's tweet about this?
No, what did he say?
He chirped back. He's like, 0 is also how many postseason innings Ben McDonald pitched in his MLB career. That's a coworker. We got to get to the bottom of this. Ben McDonald's coming up in about 30 minutes from now at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Leafs Morning Take, wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to visit theleafsnation.com. Okay, so the Maple Leafs drop a 3-1 result to the Detroit Red Wings, game 5 of 6 here in the preseason. But for the final time, I think the final dress rehearsal for the regular season. I will say, first 9 minutes, they look dialed in, and the rest of the night, they're like, where are we going out tonight?
Yeah, I thought the first period was pretty solid. I thought their forecheck was good. I thought they were obviously playing Berube hockey. I liked, a lot of different aspects from the different line combinations. Obviously, Stoli looked phenomenal the whole time. It was just like, there it is again. Every time, like, that little, and it's like, oh, never mind. Turned aside easily with confidence in Stoli. But, broke down near the end again. No one gets fired up about the second or third preseason game, so why get fired up about the second last preseason game? Again, most of these guys, especially the big dogs who have the most influence on the game, they are taking the opportunity to get their feelings right and to get their timing and to figure out what they need. And maybe they don't need anything out of it, and they're not going to exert themselves and go full tilt. Do you have any idea how hard the guys have to go to invoke a lot of change on an NHL game? It's taxing, and I don't think with anything on the table or no carrot in front of them being dangled, there's a reason to really crank it. So I don't put a lot of stock in preseason games, and neither should any of you.
The best way I can correlate it to like the everyday human, it's like playing like beer league hockey, in my opinion, and the other team doesn't have a goalie. There's no motivation. Like there is simply nothing at stake for this team. Because I too was watching the game last night. I'm like, shit, this is a tough watch. They're being dominated by Detroit, outshot 42-19. But I thought the most compelling thing to come out of the game was Anthony Stolar's play, because that was midseason form. And he certainly, I think, we're a guy we're going to monitor very, very closely, coming off the concussion last year, the way things ended, the new contract. Is he going to live up to the standard of everything? And, man, he was awesome last night, Rosie.
Yeah, he definitely was. To be a big body who can still move, he's got a lot of battle. He understands his angles. He can stop pucks in different ways, but the majority of the time he is just square and solid and poised and calm, and it just shows on the television. I know it shows on the ice, and he just exudes confidence back there. He's really good at his job. He was first in the NHL last year at save percentage, and I believe he was damn close the year before. People keep knocking him because he hasn't played more than 30-some games. It's like, well, he's been behind Bobrovsky and other he hasn't had the opportunity to be the number one guy, but when he does play, he looks damn good, and he's earned that contract. And just another hell of a signing by Tree Living, not just this recent contract, but getting him here in general and putting him in a position to have success, which he's had a lot of. And hopefully that continues. I think our goaltending situation, Wool being gone for personal reasons at the moment aside, we're looking pretty darn good between the pipes again, and that's a good feeling.
We're starting to see a theme develop, but it's starting to piss me off. Every game, teams are bumping Anthony Stolarz. It happened again. This time it's Lucas Raymond. This time, again, it's always Morgan Riley. That's all I'm going to say. It is always Morgan Riley. You being the former NHL tough guy, is there a proper response, a proper way to address this, in your opinion? Like, is it just gloves off, like pummel the shit out of the guy, and then the rest of the league understands, or can it be that way?
Well, especially in preseason, who gives a shit if you take a 2-minute penalty? Anyone comes near him, you grab him and ragdoll him and throw him against the post, throw him against the board, pummel him, start a melee. just let it be known. Let it be on the highlights in the morning that everyone's like, geez, oh yeah, or that's Stolarz. That's what happened. I forgot about that. Okay, don't dick around there. We've got a heavy enough team. We got a heavy enough back end. I don't think that you need to stand idly while he continues to get bumped, when you know he's kind of injury prone, when you know he's had a concussion recently, when you know he was detrimental to the success of your entire season last year by getting, bumped. Again, I didn't think the Bennett thing was crazy, but yeah, send a message out there with a 2-minute penalty that I'm sure the boys will kill by letting it be known. You don't come in our crease, you don't bump our goddamn goalie, or someone's coming for you. And most guys in the league will be like, nah, no thanks. I guess I'll keep my distance.
The response for me would be accidentally bumping into the other goalie. I mean, you really can't do anything anymore. Like, this is a different era. I think you accidentally, on purpose, the Sam Bennett special, he started all this, the chicken wing, right? Like, I had somebody actually was being real when they tweeted me the other day, said Bennett didn't, like, it was all a fabricated lie by Leafs media in the NHL. Bennett didn't elbow Stolarz in the head last year. He does this once a game, but it's becoming a theme. I know we've only seen Stoli a couple times here in the preseason, but it's happened in both games. It's just really starting to piss me off. And I just don't want teams to think they can take liberties on the Leafs crease. Like, there's got to be a response that's somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah, like I said, just directly, like, I don't know if the message gets sent as well or if it just promotes more of it by bumping their goalie. I'm not against it, but someone bumps your goalie, again, especially in preseason, or when, there's times where taking a 2-minute penalty is not that bad. Address it in a serious way. Don't tiptoe and try to straddle the line and maybe take a penalty. Take a penalty on the guy, a hard one, a good one, and let it be known that, no, you're not coming near us. And yeah, we'll kill that penalty off, especially preseason. Who gives a rip? But let it be known throughout the league. This is a guy you don't touch, and for good reason, more so than other goalies. I think that should be the standard anyways, but I think that's even more pronounced this season with Anthony Stolarz.
As Donnie Does Dishes reminds us here in the chat, what about the Nyes elbow last night? Yeah, that wasn't pretty. He got 2 minutes, did Matthew Nyes. There's a couple of moments in that game, I'm like, are we going to see a Tilly? Like, I was thinking about that with Morgan Riley and Lucas Raymond after the bump. And I thought Nyes was giving a bit of the waggle to Edvinsson on the back end there for Detroit. They didn't end up going, but the Swede was pretty pissed about that bow, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't care. I like Nyes. Like his... I think there's some good forechecking on this team, man. Yeah. And when you're running around, running guys, chasing down defensemen, you're going to get some hits that, guys will turn at the last minute, or you can't quite hit your brakes, or you think he's going to go this way and he goes the other and you pile into him. Whatever. That's, the fallout of a hard forecheck. And I think with guys like Joshua and Waugh, Nyes, I think, is the best at it, and you're gonna get into those positions. So I don't mind at all. I hope there's some rough stuff. I hope there's some big hits. I think we can kill penalties when you end up taking them, crossing the line a little bit by playing extra physical and extra hard, and you're forechecking like a crazy man. It's all good to me, man. I'm not scared of that one little bit, and I think finally this team is in the same boat.
North-South hockey, we'll have to call it in this marker for sure. Again, I'm not going to break down this hockey game. I couldn't care about the result, but a couple things stood out. I like the Nyes-Matthews PK pairing, and I thought, again, in the first period, that was probably the only period they actually played, was Bob McMahon was very, very noticeable. I have high hopes for Bob McMahon in the contract year.
Yeah, you do. Hey, there's a lot of talk about Domi Michelli, who's on the first line, who's on the third line. Makes me kind of wonder, like, is McMahon just stapled to that second line, or can he play on the third line? Like, that's a pretty deadly third line, you would think. I mean, maybe he's above that. I don't know, but I feel like there's three wingers who can kind of circle about until they find it, and people are pulling their hair out after, the second last exhibition game, freaking out about, we need to move this guy and that guy, and this guy's way better than this, and Nick Robertson needs to be there. He's better than Domi and Michelli put together. It's like, Jesus, settle down, you guys. We knew this in the summertime. Hey, this might take a little bit to get their footing, to get their bearings, to get their chemistry, to figure out their lines. Relax. Like, typical Leafs Nation freaking out after a Thursday night exhibition against Detroit. Would it be better if we absolutely mopped the floor with them? Yeah, of course, obviously. But what levels do you need to go to? It's going to be a long season. There's going to be a lot to get worked up about. Let's pump the brakes on the exhibition season here. But I think it's a good time to, and it's going to continue to be a good time throughout the beginning of the regular season, messing around with the lines a little bit and seeing what you have. We haven't seen these guys together. We haven't seen them in the market. We don't know, like even Berube doesn't know exactly what these guys are like, what their habits are, what their tendencies are, where they're really proficient, where they're really deficient, and where you need to put these guys. But let the thing go and the season start, and then the dust will settle and you'll have an idea of where everything lands. Let it take some time, everybody. Man, they want their cookies and they want it right now, and they want it to be perfect. Like, it's preseason. The playoffs are in April. Let's let these guys figure their stuff out.
So 2 preseason games for Austin Matthews. Anything specific you saw? He scores early in both games and fades into the night, but I guess that's always good to see him scoring goals.
Yeah, the goal last night was from, that spot that he loves to score. There's certain guys that can find it and just bang. That's where he loves to score from. It's like Leon Draisaitl with that left-handed shot, being on the right side, and man, they can pick the corners. And honestly, all I remember in recent memory of that is him right there, not being able to get any wood on it, fanning it, missing the net, missing the corners. And if he's got his shot back and is 100% healthy, help me, help the league, because it's where he needs to be and it's what he does. And I just have not seen it last year. We all had our rumors going around about what was going on with him, but to see him bang one in from his favorite spot right there, picking the corner, that's good stuff.
Great to see, and looking forward to the season opener coming up on Wednesday as the Leafs host the Montreal Canadiens, as we bring in guest 1 of 2 on today's edition of Leafs Morning Take. Doesn't need much of an introduction for sure, but from WWE, NHL on TNT, other entities as well, it's the one and only Jackie Redmond. What's going on, Jackie? How are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
We're fantastic.
Doing good, Jackie.
Before starting this show, I check out the Amazon Prime series, and who do I see? Jackie Redmond. I'm sure you've had a chance to watch.
Who, me?
What do you think
Who,
of it?
me?
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
You know what? I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to be totally honest. I did not get a screener. I didn't get anything like that. So I'm excited to watch it as everybody else watches it and see what idiotic things I said. I think I went in pretty hard on Brendan Shanahan. I'm a little bit nervous to see him in real life. I don't know if it made the cut or not, but I walked out of the room and I was like, whew. Might be an awkward hello next time I see Shanny, but I can't lie. I gotta say what I really think,
I was in the same boat. I saw a clip of me ripping on Shanny, and I didn't do it that often, to be honest, but a handful of times I did, it was ripping on him, and I'm like, man, I like Shanny, and he emailed me after and sent me an alumni jacket. I'm like, God damn it, I didn't really want to burn that bridge, but that's life. Anyways, this season's getting underway. That's focusing on last season. We're looking forward to this one. What are your thoughts on the Maple Leafs? Some of these new guys coming in. Are you pretty excited? And what have you thought of preseason so far?
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a preseason gal. Like, I'm not somebody. I saw you guys at the top of the show talking about people freaking out over last night's game and certain things. I am not somebody that gets too hyped or over dramatic about the preseason and lineup decisions before the season starts, because as we have seen, specifically with this team, I would say, like, it all gets thrown in the trash once the real games start and we start seeing what the coach really thinks and who they really trust. I think we find that out pretty quickly, what they want to do, or at least what they want to give an extended look. But in terms of the Leafs, I'm excited. I feel like we are entering a new era. Mitch Marner is gone. I think this is going to be the best for both teams. The whole all or nothing chapter is officially closed. We have slammed that book shut. It is a new book now. We can forget all of that. We can stop talking about it, and we can actually see what this new look Leafs is going to be able to accomplish. I know he's just one player, but it's Mitch Marner, right? And he was such a big name, such a huge piece of that core four, such a huge piece of, the playoff failures of years past. And I think just him being off the roster and being somewhere else, I think is going to give some of the younger players who have been around now for a couple of years, but a little bit more breathing room. There's an opportunity now for this brand and this team to sort of stand for something else. And so I am very excited to see what that looks like in real time in games that matter. Because I am a believer that it was the core four and everyone else. I don't think the players did that intentionally. I don't know how that sort of came to be, but I don't think that makes a good room, even when it's unintentional. I think when it's us and them, and I think that's what was happening with the Leafs, I think it's not good. And I don't think we have that anymore. I think now it can be a more cohesive unit in terms of all of the guys in the room feeling just a little bit more valuable and more important to sort of reaching the top of the mountain. Does that make sense?
It does. And I was going to say, I enjoy your bitter honesty on a daily basis, but even in that Amazon show that I've watched 9 minutes of thus far, you're like, well, it's been like 10 years and no cup. And that is a very, very good point. So I wonder, like, what's the expectation this year, Jackie? I'm trying to figure that out myself when I get set for the season next week. What is the level this team needs to get to where I'm like, shit, it was a good season, you know?
My expectations are still somewhat the same. I mean, filling Marner's role that's a huge gap to fill. It's huge point production to fill. And we've talked about it ad nauseum. And unfortunately for Austin Matthews, we're probably going to keep talking about it once the regular season starts because it's just, you can't not talk about it. It's a huge piece of the puzzle to figure out how they're going to make up for that point production. But I do think the expectations are similar. I still think this is a team that should compete to win the division. I still think it's a team that can go on a deep playoff run. I just think they're going to have to do it a little bit differently. I think we saw the start of that last year under their new head coach and the kind of the way that they're playing. I love the addition of Waugh. I think he's an incredible piece. I think he gives them something different. I'm curious to see kind of how his role maybe changes or expands as the season goes on. But I love that they have somebody that's big, that's heavy, that can play in the corners, that can win battles on the boards. I think that especially when we get into the postseason, I think it's something that at least at the top of the lineup, the Leafs have sort of lacked a little bit. I like that he brings that for them. But I still think they should be a team that we see go on a deep run. They have good goaltending. They have star power. They've got a little bit more of a balanced lineup. I say that hesitantly up front. I'm a little worried about the back end over a 7-game series, but that's the playoffs. Right now, it's focus on the regular season, getting your game together and winning the division. And I think that especially with everything happening in Florida, this is a team that can win the division.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the past has been the core four and too many eggs in one basket, and it has never come to fruition the way it could or should have or was expected to in the playoffs. Now, you mentioned some of these guys, Waugh and Dakota Joshua and Michelli, and some of the additions. Do you think it's okay to take a bit of a step back without Marner's 100 or so points and kind of, not light up the preseason as long as that leads to more playoff ready team that's a better, well-rounded team for the postseason?
1,000%. And maybe listen, there's always going to be expectations for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and there's certainly going to be expectation when Austin Matthews is the core of the team. But I do think that maybe a little bit less hype, a little bit less expectations actually might be exactly what some of this team needs to kind of, again, like breathe a little bit, not feel like the weight of the world is on this hockey team for once, because it's been that way for the entirety of Austin Matthews' career. I mean, they were comparing this team to the Chicago Blackhawks, the 3-time Stanley Cup champions over 10 years Blackhawks in year one. Like, that is insane that we did that. That's crazy. And honestly, like, that's not even on the players. And they had to carry that weight for a long time. And I think that we have less of that now. I mean, you guys are in Toronto, so I don't want to speak out of turn here because I am in Nova Scotia, little old Nova Scotia. But it feels like this has been a much quieter offseason for the Leafs, even with the departure of Mitch Marner. I'm sure the Blue Jays are a part of that, but I like it. I like it for the Leafs. I think maybe it's what they need to kind of turn over a new leaf, if you will. I didn't even mean to do that.
Nice.
It was there. Nice. And I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it on trend with the cheesiness. Taylor Swift put out a new album today, and the lyrics, There's some cringe lyrics there.
I believe
But
it.
I mean, listen, this is coming from a Taylor Swift stan. I love her dearly, but the lyrics, there are some embarrassing lyrics on this new album. Anywho, that's not why I'm here. I think lower expectations for the Leafs are good because I think on multiple levels, it's going to allow them to focus on what actually matters, and that's how they're playing in the game that they want to play, and sort of polishing that over the course of the regular season, and then not straying from it when they get to the playoffs, and actually figuring out a way to win that will work over a 7-game series, not just one team on one night and a different team the next. Because I think that is something that's really hurt the Leafs in the postseason, is just not being a team that can win over 7 games. Right. And that's different than just beating a really good team one-off and then going into the next city and doing it against someone else. So they need to figure out how they can be a Stanley Cup contending team over 7 games, not just 1 or 2.
I have an idea. Anyways, it's October 3rd, and I don't know if you've looked recently on Puckpedia, but the Maple Leafs might have a lot of cap space next summer. I feel like I've been running for office on social media, but there's a guy in Edmonton says he needs a feeling. He's going to wake up with a feeling, and then all of a sudden he's going to sign a contract with his Oilers. But are you starting to buy the McDavid to Toronto hype at all?
Allow me to quote a Taylor Swift song.
Oh, here we go.
When you know, you know, and when you don't, you don't. And the fact that Connor McDavid does not know today that he necessarily wants to be an Edmonton Oiler long term, to me kind of says everything. I think that, listen, he could still end up staying in Edmonton, but me right now today, I feel like there's a really good chance that he leaves. And I don't know if that's the right decision or not. That's Connor McDavid's decision to make. But I just think that this is Connor McDavid. I've seen like ridiculous takes on social media about, oh, well, he's just playing the game. He's just, he's driving a hard bargain. I'm like, it's Connor freaking McDavid. He does not need to play the negotiating game, okay? That is not what this is. This is someone that genuinely has not decided. And to me, that's a better place to be in if you're any team that's not the Edmonton Oilers. Do you know what I mean? So, I think he could potentially leave if he doesn't feel the right feeling this year. Yes.
And what if he has made his decision and he's saying, I'm not going to re-sign in Edmonton? What do you say that entire year when they're asking you like crazy? You're not going to say, this is my last year, I'm leaving. I think he would say exactly what he's saying right now and just putting it off and like leaving little breadcrumbs, which I can't get my head around the fact that he's going to do anything else other than leave, or why the hell would he say everything that he's said?
Yeah. And I think too, it's like, I'm a big vibes person. And even just like, now listen, it's Connor McDavid. When he's in front of a camera, like he's not the most comfortable person, and that's totally okay. But there is an energy and a vibe, at least over the summer when he's been asked about it, that doesn't scream like I love being in Edmonton. Even when he's saying the right things about the Oilers, even when he's trying to sort of sit on the fence and sort of be politically correct and say all the right things, it's like the energy is not backing up those words for me. That's just my read. But I also do think that even if he's thinking right now that he's leaning more towards leaving Edmonton than staying, I do think that that can change really quick. Like life comes at you quick, and you know, they could maybe have a really good season and he decides to go back. I think it is a really hard decision to be the best player in the league and to leave the franchise that you've spent your entire career with, that you've gone to 2 Stanley Cup finals with. You have had success there. You have been literally as close as you can possibly get to winning a cup without winning it. So it's like, it's not easy to turn your nose up at that. And I also think that leaving puts more pressure on Connor McDavid in some ways, because now it's like, now you've left Edmonton. You didn't stay loyal. You didn't stick it out through quote unquote tough times or whatever. And you went and you chased it. And now you're the guy that's chasing it. And I think that there's a pressure that comes with that as well. Whereas if you stay and it doesn't work out and you never win a cup, which, oh my God, would be a travesty. Like Connor McDavid needs to win a Stanley Cup. But if that were to play out that way, at least you're the guy, you were the loyal guy, you know? You did everything you could. You went to battle, you went to war with the Oilers, and you never left. Like, at least you have that if it doesn't happen. If you leave and you never win, then you're always going to look back at that decision, go, I wonder if I stayed, if things would be different. And so even thinking about it, like, oh my God, I have anxiety just thinking about how you would make that decision. Like, I feel for Connor. That is a hard place to be for a guy that I think we all know, like, number one, just wants to win. So good luck to you, Connor, with that.
He's got a heated driveway. You can't forget that either. And full disclosure, we're launching season 4 here of Leafs Morning Take on Monday. One of the new ads, a McDavid tracker, a McCountdown, we're calling it. Whoa. So we're looking forward to this. Jackie, excellent stuff. Enjoy the start of the season. We'll talk soon, okay?
Can I just add one more thing, or will you guys get in trouble if you go long with me? Is someone waiting?
Go ahead. No.
Okay, so I haven't played fantasy hockey in since the pandemic. So what, for 4 or 5 years. Had my first fantasy hockey draft last night. Nick, I did use the guide that you sent me. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't. I had it open, and then I am what they call a panic drafter. Like, the second guys started going off the board, I was like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. It went horrendously. It went, first of all, I had to pick 11th, okay? I had to pick 11th out of 12 teams. That is a tough draw. It's not easy. You make 2 picks, you get no superstar elite players. Like, you're not getting McDavid, okay, at 11. You're already into under the upper echelon of the top guys. But then you make your 2 picks and you don't pick for 20 turns. 20 guys get picked before you get to think about it again. It's horrendous. And also, I've ended up in a fantasy league that somehow in 2025 still has PIMS. Like, why? Why do we have PIMS as a category? I actually, it infuriates me to no end. We also have shorthanded points, which some people will argue for, makes PK guys more important. I don't give a shit. Shorthanded points is a farce, okay? It's like a luck of the draw category that I do not want in my league, and here I am in a league with shorthanded points. I would much rather have something like game winners or blocked shots to make my defensemen more valuable. But no, I've got PIMS and I have shorthanded points. And don't even get me started on plus minus, because when you draft at the second half of the draft, when you get into the later rounds, you have no choice but to take good players on shit teams. And guess what? They don't have good plus minuses. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to get that out. I didn't even
I knew you were going to get a Jackie vent today. I knew it.
And I really wanted to get Matthew Nyes on my team. Didn't get him. I have Mitch Marner because he was available, okay? I had to get a 100-point guy. I know. I got Mitch Marner. And then I really wanted Kiefer Sherwood in Vancouver just for hits. I must have been living under a rock. I didn't realize this guy puts up 10 hits a game. This guy is unbelievable. I didn't get him either. Anyway, and my goaltending is an absolute joke. But okay, I'm done now. I really am.
Your team sucks, it sounds like.
On your drafting here.
It's so bad, you guys. Next time I'm on, I'll let you know how it's going. My guess is I'm going to be I can't finish last. It's the first time they've had a girl in this league. So I'm going to have to be like Wanda waiver wire this year and just be picking guys up, dropping them, absolutely cutthroat roster decisions.
Love it.
Who's the commissioner? CM Punk? What's the deal here? Oh, we lost Jackie. We lost Jackie. Oopsie.
She yanked her cord out, getting fired up.
Yeah, she got booted.
Fantasy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So appreciate Jackie's time here on today's show.
I didn't think we'd get passion about it, and she just fires herself up. I like it, but I'm of the same ilk. I did the DFO mock fantasy draft earlier this week, and I don't like it either. I'm not that techy, so I was on auto draft for the first pick, I think, and then after that, I'm just trying to count how many positions I have on this and that, and then someone picks what you thought you were going to have, and I'm absolutely panic drafting. So yeah, I'm in the same boat as her, but sounds like she's got some work ahead of her.
What an exit for Jackie Redmond there.
We got some shit breaking news here, Nikolai.
Yeah, so she said her internet froze, by the way. But yeah, we do have some breaking news we have to get to, Maple Leafs related as well. As we were talking to Jackie, it was announced that Scott Lawton is listed as week to week with a lower body injury. It's funny because earlier in the show, I'm like, wow, they escaped injury here in the preseason. They have not. Scotty Lawton's going to start the season on IR, Rosie.
Can we? And he's been looking good, man. And that line looks good. And it looks like Scotty Lawton of what we know he can be too. Even though it's preseason, he looks sharp, looks confident, looks like he could be a guy to take Easton Cowan under his wing. And of course, we just can't get through a preseason without some weird bullshit happening, like Scotty Lawton phantomly getting hurt for multiple weeks and Joseph Woll leaving the team for an undisclosed amount of time for family personal issues. Just shit news. Wish him the best. Probably text him later and see if we can get any information out of it. But not a great sign. And we're talking about these 3 extra guys who, what are we going to do with them? Are they going to the Marlies? Are they going on waivers? What's going to happen here? And, David Kampf was very much a part of that. But now with the divergence of our 4th line center, it looks like enter David Kampf back into the rink, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think it makes the decision easier. I wonder what this means now for like a Nick Robertson. Like, again, if you want to shift Max Domi up the middle, there's a variety of different routes you can go. Like, I don't necessarily think David Kampf is going to be the guy to replace Scott Lawton. I think it makes more sense, at least in my world, to go Max Domi up the middle, or I don't even know who else on the top of my mind. But I mean, I would not take Kampf over like a Yarncroke or a Robertson. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, he gets paid more money than all of them, so someone in there believes in him, obviously.
Yeah. Like maybe even Yarncroke. I know Gary Kay in the chat's discussing Yarncroke. Can he still play center? But like it's so unfortunate because that 4th line was buzzing around with Lawton, Lorentz, and Easton Cowan, and now it's like you're effectively throwing your lines in a blender. And week to week is not good because it doesn't sound like he's going to miss a couple games here.
I know it's not day to day; it's week to week. It looks like at practice we've got Lorentz, Kampf, and Cowan going on. So I know that was one of the things I saw after the first period. And you hear about their team building and how the guys are always hanging out and they're getting ribbed with each other, and they got to go sing a song in front of the guys for the rookie and blah blah blah. It's all fun and games, but it seemed like they were on path to building a lot of that chemistry that we've talked about for a few weeks. And I was always leaning towards, I really like Cowan making the team. And it's not like it's the year 2000 where if you're on the 4th line, you're playing with 2 meatheads playing 4 minutes a night, which is not doing anything for a player of his skill level and his potential's development. But it's not that. You're playing with Scott Lawton and he's teaching you how to be a pro, and you're getting better every day, and you're playing 10 minutes a night. I think it was a great situation for him to develop and to get his feet under him. And it's a kind of a welcome to the NHL moment without all the pressure of you need to be getting on the score sheet and you need to be doing it fast. It's more like you're not expected to get on the score sheet. And if you did, it's a bonus. And I saw him last night having bursts of speed and opportunity, and he didn't look out of place whatsoever. And I was especially excited about that line getting some chemistry and having that kid get into the league in a way that wasn't risky. And now that's shot to hell with Lawton being gone for several weeks. So again, enter David Kampf, I guess, which just doesn't seem the same to me.
Lott just can't buy a break. I thought he was up against it all last year, joining on a moving train, and just never got up to snuff. In the playoffs, he was good. I think in the preseason, he's been good. Like, this is the last thing you want for any player, but especially Scott Lawton, a home product, coming home, contract year, to start the season up against it on IR and miss significant time to start the year. That's tough. If somebody can handle it, it's Lots. I think, it's a crucial loss to the bottom 6 too, because I know he's a 4th liner right now, but Scott Lawton, I think, means a lot to this team in the room, on the ice. And so it's got to be next man up. We say that, it's cliche, but can David Kampf rise to the occasion is the question here.
And does that change things with the development of Kampf? Like, how much of playing with Lawton was part of the plan of his development and starting the season in the league? Hard to say. Just shit news, though. Just with Scotty Lots, too. He came in here and didn't have the greatest start to his career as a Toronto Maple Leaf. And had a summer to reset, came in, looked good. I think he felt good. What he's saying is solid. He looks confident. He's ready to pick off on the right foot and to play the kind of hockey that he's proven he can play. And the other cherry on top was, what does that do for Easton Cowan as they make a decision on whether it's best for him to be in the league or go down and play in the American Hockey League? And I really thought that Scott Lawton was a big part of that. So maybe this is just a week and a half tweak thing, but to put him at week to week right away makes it seem like, he's, you crack a bone or do you tear something or like, fuck off. That's just brutal news. And you just can't get out of these preseasons without something like that, it seems like. And it's a bit of a piss off, to be honest, because like I keep repeating, I was liking what I was seeing out of him and his line.
Mr. P-Mail Bacon breaks it down in the chat very nicely, in my opinion. Says, hate to say this, sucks for the guy, but good for the team from Brad's standpoint. He's not handcuffed to put guys on waivers. I mean, that is the truthful point there. If you recall, it sort of happened last year as well. So that's the very latest. Scott Lawton, week to week with a lower body injury, and it looks like David Kampf will get the assignment on opening night on the fourth line with Easton Cowan and Steven Lorenz. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to have a little fun now on Leafs Morning Take. Let's set the table and tell you more about the story before we welcome in the guest. This happened on ESPN MLB the other day. Here it is.
And the Blackhawks return to the ice next Tuesday, NHL opening night against the defending champion Florida Panthers at 5 Eastern, 4 Central on ESPN. Triple header that night. Penguins, Rangers, Avalanche, Kings. Ben, I know you got an opinion on this. Panthers three-peat this year. What do you think?
If you say so. I mean, good luck to them. Are you asking me if I'm going to be watching?
No, you'll be watching, of course, because you work for ESPN. You'll be watching Friday night.
There is zero chance I'll be watching. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Where will you be?
I will be somewhere, but there's zero chance I'll be watching.
All right, thanks, Ben. We'll be watching. Thanks for the ratings.
I love that. So that happened on ESPN the other day, and very thankful to today's guest for taking some time. I know he's probably seen that clip a billion times, but happy to bring in the first overall pick from the 1989 draft. The year I was born, by the way. It's Ben McDonald. Ben, thank you so much for doing this. I know you've seen that clip a billion times by now, right?
That makes me feel old when you say number one pick in 89, a year you were born, by the way. But great to be with you. Yeah, I've seen it once or twice. It's been brought up more than once or twice, to be honest, and it's funny how having a little bit of fun can get really turned around in a hurry, and people made it out that I hate the game of hockey and Ben McDonald hates hockey, which is obviously the furthest thing from the truth, and the funny thing is, me and Kevin, which was the play-by-play guy reading it, we were talking about what you're going to be doing because we were getting down the last couple games of the year, and I said, man, I'm about to go disappear. I'm going off the grid because I'm a big outdoorsman. And I always tell people there's only two seasons for me anymore. There's hunting season and there's baseball season, and one rolls right into the other. So I said, I am going off the grid. No TV, no nothing. So here's the other funny thing about that. Kevin does about 20 reads a game. I never pay attention to the reads because I'm always looking at my scorebook, thinking, okay, who's pitching? How am I going to set up the next inning? What I want to talk about, what batters are coming up, all those things.
Shit.
Oh, no. I think we got you back.
Yeah, so calling me, so I had the red button them right there. But yeah, so it's fun, but I hate it to happen because people spun it into we got these thumb bumpers out there is what I call them on social media. They like to bump their thumbs on the screen all the time, trying to make something out of nothing. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. I respect the game of hockey, obviously. I respect the athletes. They're big time athletes, and I just don't watch a lot of hockey. But I'm from Louisiana, man. I'm down here in the Bayou. We don't play a lot of hockey down here. I grew up playing football, basketball, and baseball is kind of what we do around here. But I have been to a few hockey games. Not many, but I've been to a few.
Well, yeah, I mean, to have you on, I'm glad you could clear the air a little bit. It did seem like an unprovoked attack. Like you were pretty adamant about not being interested in that whatsoever. So could you understand why people got up in a little bit of a tizzy, especially on social media?
Yeah, I could understand it because people are going to make something out of social media all the time. So I could see where people would be a little bit upset about that. And I get it. Look, there's obviously a lot of hardcore hockey fans out there, but it's just funny to me. It's weird to me that somebody can be criticized for not liking the same sport as somebody else. Like I don't criticize people for not liking the game of baseball. If there's hockey fans that don't like baseball, that's fine. They got their opinion to everything, And it's weird to say, too, I don't pay attention a whole lot. And here's the other crazy thing about it, too. I never even realized that ESPN had the hockey contract this year. Something new was going on because I just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, So that was news to me, too, When I heard, like, hey, Ben, ESPN has the big hockey contract. I said, well, I do know now, And so I just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I work and do ball games. I focus on the baseball side of things. And with everything else that's going on, I don't even worry about that kind of stuff.
It's roughly like 5 Juan Soto contracts. That's the size of the contract with the NHL and the ESPN.
It's large. It's large. That means they're going to get a lot of viewers, and that's going to be good. And the good news is I might be tuning in on Tuesday night, too, Now, there's playing. Now, the other piece of that was there's playoff baseball going on Tuesday night and opening night of hockey as well, So maybe I can get my wife to figure out how to do a split screen on the TV, and maybe I can watch a little bit of both, And so that'll be fun. But, yeah, I got to go to some Red Wing games way back in the day when I was playing for the Orioles back in the early 90s, and that was cool to see that. And, of course, I was on the Olympic team. I told another group I was on with yesterday, I was on the Olympic team in '88 with the U.S. baseball team and got to meet Wayne Gretzky, which was really, really cool with the Kings back in the day and go in the locker room and hang out with those guys. So that was really fun, too, And I was amazed at the athleticism, man, because I have been on skates once or twice, and I spent more time on my back than I did on the skates, I can tell you. So I got a lot of respect for those guys for sure.
Well, maybe this little incident will lead you to getting a split screen going, and you might just fall in love with this game of ours. Is there a chance of that, Ben?
I'd like you to tell me and explain to me the game. That's the thing, because we don't. I mean, obviously, I know when the puck goes in the goal, I know what that's all about. But the icing stuff and all the other stuff is where I'm a little bit confused. So I'd love to sit down with somebody and kind of break it down and have somebody like you really break it down and tell me what's going on with the game of hockey.
Well, that'd be a good idea. I was playing overseas. They were playing cricket. I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I sat beside someone who knew the game very well, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, a lot more so than if I was sitting there by myself, not having a clue what's going on. So maybe we'll fly you up here and have you sit down for a game or two, and we'll make a fan of you yet.
I'd love to do that. That'd be fun.
Benny, I love a good chirp. I'm not sure if you saw this, and I don't want to be a catalyst or anything, but the legendary John Buccigross, who works over at ESPN as well, did you see his subtweet the other day? You didn't see it?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he said 0 is also how many postseason innings Ben McDonald pitched in his MLB career. That was his response.
Oh, I honestly, guys, I don't even know who that is. I have no idea who you're talking about. So, hey, whatever, man. Look, just seems like another thumb bumper to me. There's a lot of thumb bumpers out there.
It's about
fair enough.
I'm sure he's a great guy. Look, he's entitled to his opinion. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I have no idea who that is.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
Okay. A legend in the hockey world, I imagine. Yeah, okay. I don't know what else.
I don't know who he is either, Ben, but before we let you go, we're based out of Toronto, Blue Jays, looking at a pretty high-end series coming up. What's your take on the Jays' state at this moment?
Yeah, man, I tell you, now you're talking my cup of tea, baseball, and for the Blue Jays, for me, it's been a big turnaround. Obviously, John Snyder, and we were in there last year with the Orioles, and there was a lot of rumbling about his job, at the time, and they've gone from last place to first place and the number 1 seed in the American League, and so tip the cap to him. George Springer has had a monster year. Obviously, we know that a bounce back year, arguably his worst year last year, and he's bounced back to Alejandro Kirk has been big. Vladimir Guerrero, I feel like, has a good year every year. But I like the Blue Jays, man. I really like their offense. They're number 1 offense in baseball when it comes to batting average. And I tell you what I love about what they do, guys. They don't strike out very much. They put pressure on opposing teams. I think they got the second fewest strikeouts in the game. Runs per game are really good. They can steal a few bases. I think it's a team that can really make a run, and I don't know what the status. Y'all would know more about Bo Bichette. I know he's been nicked up a little bit. He was questionable for coming back for this series or not. And I know Kevin Gosman really well, covered him here at LSU. So I think the Jays have a chance now. The Yankees are really good, and I saw the Yankees just about a week ago as the Orioles finished up the regular season in New York. The Yankees are a very deep team, as you guys know, and they can pitch it a little bit. They steal bases this year. Obviously, hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's the number 1 offense in baseball. But this is a clash of 2 titans, 2 big-time organizations going at it right here. So this is going to be fun to watch. And the good news for the Jays, they have home field advantage. And, you got to get out to a good start and get going a little bit. But this is going to be can't miss TV for sure. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Do you have a prediction for this series, Ben?
I really like the Blue Jays. I think it's something about this team going from last place to first place. I think there's something there. The only thing that scares me a little bit, guys, is when you're playing and you have this long break and you don't get to play because of the wild card. You got to remember, if you're a number one seed like the Blue Jays were, you get more time off waiting to play again when the season ends than you did during the All-Star break or any point in time during the season. So you wonder about being a little bit stale coming back, because if you're playing well, you want to continue to play as baseball players. You want to go out there and play. Baseball players are used to playing every day. And sometimes when you get some time off, man, you can do all the inter-squad games you want to do and sim games and all those kind of things, but it's just not the same as the regular game of baseball. So that does concern me a little bit, because we've seen teams in the past play really well during the regular season and they get that 4 or 5 day layoff, man, and it's just a little bit rusty coming back. So that is a concern, but the fans in Toronto are awesome. They love the game of baseball. And I remember in '89, we were one of the first teams to ever go into what at the time was the Sky Dome then and played there. I think we had one of the first series. It's such a cool place to play, man. When they opened the roof, it was the first retractable roof stadium, as you guys know. So that's a really cool place. And I'm telling you, the fan base is phenomenal, man. They love their baseball there. So that's always a fun place for me to go because of the atmosphere.
Tell you what, if you're looking for a new hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs pretty damn good as well. You got an American captain in Austin Matthews getting set for the upcoming season. Hey, thank you so much for facing the music, so to speak, today, setting the record straight. Really appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs.
Days and hockey's still going on. I can go to a hockey game. I'd love to do that.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Ben. Have a great day, okay?
All right. Here.
Thanks,
kid.
That
is Ben McDonald from ESPN breaking things down. And credit to him. I think it's always difficult when something like that happens. He strikes me as a pretty fun and chaotic person and just was having fun. And I understand what he's saying when he's like, he probably wasn't even paying attention. I understand that completely. But you got to know who John Buccigross is. you really do. Like, I fear for Ben because that's going to go viral.
I do like those Southern boys most of the time, and I was ready to rip him a little more, and he's like, what do you want me to say? I wasn't paying attention, and I'm being honest. I'm not watching hockey. I go and hunt, and I watch it. I'm like, shit, I guess I get it. But and I also appreciate guys who don't really give a rip. It makes me laugh, and it reminds me of Willie Nylander a little bit. I don't care what I say or what people think about it. I get it, and you know what? He was being honest, so I wanted to rip him a little bit more, but it's like, I can't really. He's owning it. He's just saying, what? I was hardly paying attention. I don't know who ESPN sponsors, and I'm not going to watch the hockey. It's the baseball playoffs or hunting season. So tough to argue with a good Southern boy like that, I guess.
Thing I was going to say is, like, the hockey world in general, always super sensitive, but that is, it's pretty crazy. I just referenced how big that hockey deal is with ESPN. On top, I don't know how you don't know John Buccigross. Like, even when I worked at Sportsnet, I knew people who covered curling. Okay, like, I don't know what kind of booth this guy's in where he doesn't know who John Buccigross is, or that the NHL and ESPN are in bed together. That was the wilder thing. But to me, it's like, whatever. He covers baseball. I think it just speaks to the sensitivity of the folks. And we're probably not even the right people to defend the platform. Like, we're in Canada, ESPN's in the States, but nobody else is going to do it. We do stuff like that here, at least Morning Take.
Yeah, I just see it as a guy who's paying attention to only the bare minimum of what he needs to pay attention to. So we'll move on. My feelings aren't hurt anymore. I shook my head and laughed and said, why would a guy who's on TV, because that's, he says, well, who cares if someone doesn't like baseball? I'm not going to get mad about it, but they're not a bloody, an announcer on a national stage, openly bashing an entire league and sport for absolutely no reason. So here comes the backlash, but he doesn't seem to care too much. So it's probably the way to go about it.
Was I too harsh in asking what the Buccigross tweet?
No, I don't think he gives a rip. He didn't even know who. I was going to say, who is that guy if he doesn't even know?
Dude, come on, man. I'm Canadian. I know who John Buccigross is. College hockey, NHL, like, he's a staple of ESPN. Am I the only one who knows who John Buccigross is?
You're the only guy who, for the last 18 years has dedicated your life to watching every aspect of hockey, and apparently ESPN down in the NCAA as well. That's not many people, just to let you know, but I do tip my cap to the people that you know.
You and Ben like tight behind the scenes or something. You're really backing this guy. You heard him say 3 things in a Southern twang. You're like, this is my guy. Louisiana, let's
I know.
do
I
this.
was ready for you to get on me going, don't rip him too hard. And I was going to go, fuck this guy. Unprovoked attack for no reason. What's your problem? Your pussy baseball shit is all you can handle and you don't like the tough stuff. And then he was like a good guy. I was like, damn it. And I kind of let it go.
Yeah, baseball people in general are good dudes. Like he had the John Gibbons vibe to him, did Ben McDonald. I think it's one thing to watch the broadcast and be like, holy shit, I can't believe he said. I wasn't even offended. I'll be honest, I was not offended. The guy covers baseball. I mean, if you were to do the other way around and they're promoting it in hockey, I mean, there's a good chance that the person doing it is not watching baseball the next day. Maybe doesn't say it. I think if you were to ask Ben not to speak for him, like he probably just wouldn't have said anything at all. You just sometimes when you get a tee up like that on TV, you just go with it and be like, yeah, it's going to be a great game. But he elected just to be bitterly honest. So I got to say again, thank you to Ben for dropping by and like facing the music. I think it shows the type of person he is, because some people would just be like, you know what, I'm not doing this. He goes on a hockey show. Love that. So appreciate that from Ben McDonald today, Rosie.
Yeah, I guess we won't cancel him today. That's not really our
Your
style,
new best friend.
You don't think the same way I do. You need to lose your job and apologize.
Hey, Rosie, while we're at it,
yourself.
While we're at it, this is the finale of season 3. Did you see what happened in Carolina yesterday?
No.
So the social justice warriors got to the Carolina Hurricanes, and Mikey McLeod was going to sign with the Carolina Hurricanes. He is no longer going to sign with the Carolina Hurricanes. There were petitions, tweets, people went nuts. I'd love to hear if you heard anything about that or saw anything about that.
I thought I would. I see a bunch of that stuff. He's a guy in the Hockey Canada deal, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Not Mike
Yeah.
McLeod. I thought it was a different McLeod. Yeah. I don't know, man. To end the season 3 here. I'm not about cancel culture. I'm about letting due process take its course, go to the courts to find things out. What happened that night, I think everyone has paid for and then some, and there were mistakes made by all sides. Let's be honest. And the fact that people want people's lives, they're not like, their lives have been ruined forever in certain ways over the mistakes that happened that night. And people, it's just not enough for people. They want more. They think that the person continuing on with their life after having paying a pretty heavy price for it already, not to mention being acquitted on all charges, is just not good enough. They think that the court of their own personal opinion needs to reign supreme in every aspect of what happens in the future. And I'm definitely not for that. And those guys, again, for the mistakes that they did made, and there was mistakes on both sides, I think everyone has paid dearly for them. I can't imagine the lives of any of those people involved over the last handful of years. Been an absolute nightmare for everyone. So I just don't understand the people's hearts where you can't say, hey, let's move on and let people continue with their lives. I think you're a complete dickhead when you want people's lives to continue to be ruined. It shows how pathetic you are.
Love your honesty, dude. It's time now for the last call, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use code NATION. That's NATION, NATION. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, visit ConnexOntario.ca. Dude, I'm Jack tomorrow. Game 1. Full disclosure, I was a big Yankees fan growing up. I like the Jays now too, but Derek Jeter is my idol. Not only about his roster off the field, but, dude, the guy was an incredible gamer on the field. So it's Yankees, Blue Jays, Game 1. The Blue Jays right now as slight favorites. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays money line in Game 1, 4:08 first pitch tomorrow afternoon. I can't wait. It's going to be a great weekend here in Toronto.
That is kind of exciting, man. I'm not the most adamant ball fan in the world, but playoff baseball is pretty awesome. I do worry, even as Ben said, they're not used to taking breaks, and baseball seems to be very streaky.
Mm-hmm.
And to go on a hiatus like that is so out of the ordinary for these guys. And I just don't know what's going to happen when they pick up again. Like, it just seems odd. Like, you know how bats just go cold and offense just completely dries up. Little nervous of that. So I am going to take the under on the game. And think that it'll be a pitching firestorm, and people will need to get their timing back as far as getting the offense go, especially the Blue Jays. So I hope I'm wrong with them being a little bit cold, but out of the gates, I think there might be some feeling out period, and I'm going to take the under.
Love it. I was going to say both bullpens suck ass, so that's going to be a big story in the series. Which bullpen can be better than the other, because they're both terrible. But looking forward to this, man. Again, I have the viral quotes. We've all seen them by now. I talked about JT Miller. I said there's a better chance of him being a Leaf than the Jays making the playoffs. Here we are, division champs, round 2. The New York Yankees in town for a best of 5. So looking forward to that. Just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy it. And the final weekend before NHL hockey begins on Tuesday, Rosie, the season opener on Wednesday, and the season premiere, season 4 of Leafs Morning Take coming up on Monday, to bigger and brighter things for the show ahead, bud.
I love it. I'm going to bust out a prop on that specific day that I've been saving for a little while. So looking forward to it, man.
Oh, I think you know what you're talking about. I was like, what is this guy alluding to?
What is he talking about? Not a big prop guy. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. Can't wait. This show went a little long today, but we had to fill in a couple of guests that like to chit-chat, which is always awesome. So looking forward to that. What day is it? Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy that Jays game on, it's a Sunday, hey? No, tomorrow, Saturday.
Tomorrow and Sunday.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, man. A couple of days left, just a handful.
It would have been pretty damn electric to get Jackie Redmond on talking Taylor Swift with Ben McDonald talking his screw up. That'd have been like a good mixture of everything here at Leafs Morning Take. We're going to leave it at that. Season 4 premiere coming up on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time at the Leafs Nation. 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leafs Morning Take, wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to visit theleafsnation.com. Once again, thank you to Jackie Redmond and Ben McDonald for dropping by today's show. To producer Vic, for Jay Rosehill, I'm Nick Alberga. We'll talk season 4. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much.